Hi everyone. I'm just going to do another short clip on putting some scenery around this bridge. Yesterday I put the brickwork on. I put some tops on the columns, and now I've got to try and blend the scenery in with the wing walls. So I'm going to do a little step by step on how to do this. First of all, I have some holes I have to try and fill. So I'm going to do this is just get some newspaper and squeeze some newspaper into the gaps to give something for my scenery to stick to. Once I've squeezed the paper in, I can blob small amounts of PVA glue, watered down, just to help hold this in place. And once that dries, that kind of fills the hole. I'm going to do this on all four sides, so I won't bore you with all the details. I'll come back to you in a second. Right, now that the paper has been glued and it's had time to dry, I'm now going to add some neat PVA glue over the top of the paper. And the most important thing of all is make sure you have a cup of tea with you. I'm going to carry on putting some glue on the paper. And some down the bridge sides, down the wing walls. Now, most of the time with bridges like this, the grass alongside the wing walls would be really long. So I'm going to use my static grass applicator, which I purchased from Knock, to try and create some really long grass along the sides. And then from there you can just add and experiment with different types of foliage to try and make it more and more realistic. So I just keep on adding some glue, because I've got to try and blend this area in. Now, I've noticed recently on YouTube the videos have to be shorter than 10 minutes, so I'm probably going to have to do this in a couple of stages. So I'll keep an eye on the time, and if I get close to 10 minutes I'll cut it off and come back with part 2. I have two different sorts of static grass that I use, and I mix both colours together. I have like a beigey brown, which is like long dead grass, and I have a real bright green grass. They're both 6mm long, and I'm going to mix a small amount together and stick that in my static grass applicator. Right, now we're all loaded up and the grass is inside of the applicator. What this does, it basically puts a charge onto the fibres, which makes them stand up on end. What we need to do is apply this nail into the glue somewhere. So I'm just going to push it in there like that. And now I'm going to attach my crop clip to the nail. Sometimes if it doesn't stay there, we could just hold it in place like this. I'll see if I can do it with my other hand so you can see. Just hold it into the glue, and then just gently start applying the static grass, and you can see straight away that it starts to stand up on end. Don't worry if you don't get the colour that you're looking for to start with. You can always tone this down afterwards. Sometimes it doesn't want to come out. Here we go, that's a bit better. What I find is if the fibres are damp, they tend to cling to each other, and it does make it a little bit awkward to get them to shake out. perseverance. It does work in the end. What you can do afterwards, you can get a vacuum and you can suck off all the excess, and it kind of lifts the grass as well with the vacuum. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try a different nozzle, because I don't tend to get on very well with these ones, so I'll come back in a second. Right, let's try again. That's better. I'm just going to let that dry for a bit, and then I'll come back with the vacuum. Right, now to try and get this to blend in a little bit, I'm going to add some watered down PVA to the grass next to it. And using the beigey brown coloured static grass that I showed you earlier, I'm just going to apply some of that over the top. And straight away you can see that starting to blend in and looking more natural. You've probably noticed, looking at the countryside, no grass is the same as another grass. There's so many different shades of green and brown. Basically what we're trying to do is add as many different colours of green and brown to try and get it to look more realistic. So straight away that looks a lot better than it did. Once again, with the vacuum, just try and remove any excess grass. Unfortunately, in doing this you're going to waste some, unless you've got some other method of sucking it up into a smaller little handheld vacuum and reusing it. Unfortunately I have got to waste some. Looking quite good. I'm quite pleased with that so far. Try and keep the grass, use the vacuum and try and suck the grass off of the hedging, because as much as you probably would get grass in there, I think it kind of ruins the hedging. At the moment the hedging looks quite nice. What I'm going to do now is get some clumps of phlox foliage, and I'm going to add small little amounts up the side. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'll be coming back with part 2 for that. Bye for now.